Have you checked the children? Your little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hi everybody, welcome back. It is the horror show.
Yeah.
And I am Marcia Parker.
Last I checked, I'm still Jaime Fuego, but
I don't know why I'm struggling today.
no, we are struggling because of the fact that we are trying our damnedest to get caught up on all of the Patreon content that unfortunately took a back seat as we were going through late September and then the extent of October. It's the busiest time of year for us, and so thank you so very much, everybody, for your support and for your patience. But we are talking the spin-off, I guess, so to speak, or at least it's in the same universe. It's like the Iron Man to Thor, I guess, of the Sharknado verse. We are talking Lavalantula. Yeah, similar camp, also on the Sci-Fi Channel, and yet this one, despite having a cameo from 90210 dude, Gil, or not Gil, Finn, right? Finn. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, Finn is our lead from Sharknado, but the lead reins are taken over by none other than 80s comedic goldman Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah, and I love how he plays himself, right?
Very well, he's not himself, but he is very much if he was like kind of a cranked up, douchier action version of himself instead of being comedically minded.
Well, I was thinking he was playing as Gutenberg, but he wasn't.
Mm-hmm. No, not in this one. He has the name and he's got the, well, of course he has a name, Fuego. That's when you do a bunch of reviews in succession, things start to melt together. But yeah, Gutenberg, okay. So this is going to adhere to the same sort of approach as we did with the Sharknadoes, where it's not going to be hitting overall thoughts and story and acting and stuff. We just kind of make this a hodgepodge of impressions. And so I, in some ways, liked this better than some of the later Sharknado entries because of the fact that it killed off a few characters that I didn't necessarily anticipate. I liked the fact that it was creature, but also mixing it with a little bit of, if you saw the Volcano movie with Tommy Lee Jones that came out in the 90s, it had more of a goofy sort of approach to that. And you've got spiders that spit lava. And so it's
acid that,
it's not Shakespearean theater, for God's sake, but I was entertained by this movie, and Gutenberg as this kind of douchey, entitled sort of actor who does these, action-centric films of sorts. And he teams up with a few interesting peeps, most notably dude from The Sandlot and The Big Green, the ginger kid who's like this big fan, and then there's his pirate homeboy who's like a stunt actor or something. There's a lot of goofy inside baseball going on within this movie. It's very self-aware of the inner workings of Hollywood, which sets it apart from Sharknado in the fact that it does pull the curtain back as far as filmmaking goes.
Yeah,
which I liked.
It felt like a fourth wall break, but
big time throughout this whole movie.
Yeah, which it was fun. Like when you understand the behind the scenes and been on a set and dealt with people before, then you understand kind of where they're coming from with a lot of this stuff. So it's really fun to watch, and then to watch the guy his character arc was really well done too. I thought for this type of movie, it was actually pretty impressive to watch him go from like this just train wreck of an actor to somebody that people were actually cheering for at the end. So
rising to the occasion.
So I thought that was fun.
Yeah, and it had kind of some echoes of the very first Sharknado with your spouse and things aren't going so well and you're trying to kind of mend the fences, so to speak. But I also like the stuff with his kid and his little crew of friends and everything. And there's one character in particular who gets bit by a spider, and once you finally find out what happens, that was one of my favorite bits in the entire movie. I did not think they were going to off that character. I was like, damn,
and I didn't think it was going to go like that either.
Yeah, it is like PG-13 equivalent like the other Sharknadoes, but there are a few more grisly kills in this than you see in some of the later Sharknadoes. I feel like the edge, the sharpness of the teeth that you had in some of the early Sharknadoes was lost in later entries, and yet this was at that sweet spot of time where they were still really kind of going for it. And of course, where Gutenberg and dude from 90210, they share the embrace, almost like it's
like, can you
Predator.
help me out? Do you know
It's like
I got
Predator
my
or
own things
something.
going on?
Yeah, exactly.
I got a global warming going on or something. Haven't you
Mhm.
heard? Isn't that what he said? Something like, haven't you heard there's a global warming or something?
Something, yeah. I can't remember
that's
when
funny.
this came out in correspondence with the Sharknado films, but it was right in the middle of that respective franchise,
Yeah.
and they were trying to. There is a sequel to this, by the way. Media Kraken, Heather
Why are you
Smith.
gonna tell them?
Whoever is watching that, I know. No, torture us more! Torture us more!
You just really like this. You want to keep going.
I honestly like this better than the later Sharknado entries,
Yeah.
as I said. I was entertained, and I liked Gutenberg's arc, as you were just mentioning. I thought the kills were pretty cool, and I liked the fact that it was kind of that inside baseball and kind of, just... For those who are, like, you're familiar with the politics of being on set and, gaffers and script rewriting and stunt doubles and all this different stuff, the characters were likable. And I hear from what I was reading on the very small amount of information on Wikipedia that in the To Lantula, you do have Gutenberg returning and a few of the other characters from this that survived, at least. So Lavalantula, dare I say, a entertaining time.
I thought it was entertaining, and I thought the acting was really good too.
Mhm.
I mean, it was obviously dramatic, like Sharknado, but
Very
at the
much
same
so.
time, like there wasn't any characters that really bothered me. I feel like even I could be okay with any one of those characters going on to the next movie.
Yeah, and it wasn't since it was not the whole established franchise aspect like we had with the later Sharknadoes where everyone and their mom wanted to cameo. Besides the whole wink wink, it's in the same universe as Sharknado, there really wasn't an abundance of this musician playing themselves, this newscaster playing themselves, all this. That's where I feel like the joke wore itself out in Sharknado, and so that's maybe why I found this to be a little fresher in that approach. And the fact that, I did like the Volcano movie, and even, Dante's Peak and some of that stuff. I enjoy that sort of thing. And Gutenberg, surprisingly, really impressed me in this. So.
I like Gutenberg, obviously.
Goots. Yeah, same with me. He was in 3 Men and a Baby. He was in a bunch of stuff in the late
High
80s,
Spirits?
early 90s. Which you guys did the commentary for, right?
Yes.
Which I've never seen. So
I know you should have watched it with us. It's to die for.
All the jokes, all the puns. So yeah, Media Kraken, we extend the grande gracias. Thank you so very much for recommending this, and I guess the best thing you can do is subject us to the sequel if you want to request it. But if you want to become a patron, all the information is below. If you are seeing this on the YouTube channels, some of these migrate over, some just stay on the patron side of things.
Yeah, you gotta be a patron to get it all.
Indeed. So yes, the support is greatly appreciated, and reviews, commentaries, boogie boxes, all that jazz. We are so very appreciative. And I guess until next time, Freight fans, I've been Jaime Fuego.
I'm Marcia Parker.
And until then, remember to
Stay
scout.